Hey guys, it's M4T just coming at you with a quick off-the-cuff video and update on the photo capabilities of the Git2P. So I had a chance to kind of go out and take a few pictures and just really kind of flesh out what the best settings are in terms of the ISO. So over here, I've taken a couple of photos. Over here, this is just an auto setting. And over here it's ISO 1600, 800, 400, 200, 100, 50, and these are all processed RAWs. So these are RAWs which I've color corrected. And let's just look at some of these photos here. So going closer. So in the center here is the RAW which has been processed, and over here is just the JPEG engine of the Git2P. And so you can see it's kind of smudgy, and it's got some blurring, and it's just kind of, it looks artificial. Whereas over here you kind of got some grain, and this is all ISO 50, by the way. So this is at the lowest setting. And as you can see, you get so much more detail which you kind of gets blotchy with the normal JPEG engine. Now the JPEG engine is, I can actually see what it does now. It kind of just works at taking out the noise, it looks like. But in my opinion, it doesn't do very good at preserving how it should actually look like. So let's look at some others. So over here, on the bottom left, we have the RAW, and upper right, we have the JPEG engine. So as you can see, that grain and noise at ISO 50 is not as bad as in the previous video where I just used auto ISO. And up here, it's you can see it's kind of got the blotching. It's got it kind of looks like a mural, kind of like a painting or something. Whereas here you can just see it's just noise and kind of low quality, but you get the detail, and it's more accurate, I suppose. And of course, you zoom out and you don't notice the noise at all. In this photo, the bottom right is the JPEG, and the top left is the RAW. So you can see it's kind of blurry, smudgy, looks like a painting, like dabbed paint. And over here, you just got the noise, and it's just normal grain. And to be honest, the JPEG looks good too, but you know, obviously you want to preserve more details, and if that includes noise and grain from straight out of the sensor, I think you want to preserve it as true to the sensor version as possible, and then you can process it yourself, and then you can determine on your own whether or not you want to deal with the blotching. And over here on the right side is once again the JPEG, and the left side is the RAW. So over here I did a quick comparison, and I put them all together. I did one street, all different manual ISO settings, and you can see that there's the most noise is at 1600. And these are ISO steps, which means you can't just change it to like 1500. You have to choose what the camera offers you. So they offer these in these steps. So 1600, you can see so much noise. 800, slightly less noise. 400, slightly less noise. 200, lesser noise. And then 100 is this amount of noise. But then you get to 50, and the noise seems to ramp up a little bit more. You get more darks in the noise. So in my opinion, the 50 ISO setting is not a real setting. It's just like I believe that 100 is the base ISO, and that 50 is pulling from 100 and just using some kind of artificial processing. So you can look here, 50 on the left and 100 on the right. On the left you have more noise sharpness, which means the noise itself is sharp. And the right, the noise is more subtle. And also, over here you can see some chromatic aberration. So, if you want to take the best photos with your Git2P, my suggestion is to use manual settings, choose ISO 100, and then you can set the shutter speed as well, or you can just use auto shutter speed. But obviously these photos came out a bit dark. I would, and I'm not sure if there's a preview option on the Git2P. I'm not sure if you can actually see through the screen what it looks like, because the screen is really small anyways. But if you get good at guessing what the shutter speed should be at that point, usually for video you're going to want to go double your frame rate that you're recording at, unless you have faster action in it, then you want to go lower. And then for photos, if you have you want to go faster shutter speed if you're handheld, but then you'll lose light, it'll become darker. So anyways, if you like this video, hit the like button down below. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel, and tell me how you really feel in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.